Let me say good morning to, of course, the listeners of Classic Radio, viewers of GBN TV. Good morning, welcome. Those of you via our social media platforms, good morning to you also, and welcome to another edition of To The Point. Today being Thursday, it's the 18th day of December 2025. Let me say good morning, of course, my guest this morning. I think I know already.
The usual.
I think I remember the name.
You forget Smith.
I forgot your name. Maybe you're not a regular, but you've been here before, but maybe not on a regular basis.
That's
good
true.
morning
That's
to you.
good. Good morning. I'm Nashalyn Smith, Woman Police Constable, number 143, attached to the Traffic Department on the Carnage.
Good morning to you and welcome. I remember this, Smith, because I hear you a couple of mornings when you were doing the
traffic report.
with my good bro Innocent. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was you, but
It can be our voice.
so welcome, and nice to have you folks in the studio once again. We our conversation this morning, I would say it's timely, with the sense of, we enter into the Utah season, and safety is always important for everyone to pay attention to. Last week, my guest, we spoke out, of course, from the RGPF. We spoke about safety in general in terms of your home and everything like that. But we're going to focus a lot on safety in terms of your personal safety. That's what our conversation was certainly based on today. And we also want to talk about traffic. Of course, we have Brennan here. We're going to speak up. Brennan, but Smith is going to speak about, of course, the traffic and what you need to pay attention to as the season progresses. Yeah, we say Christmas is almost upon us, right?
Yes. To me, it's here.
6 days away. The other day we say Christmas.
No time, exactly. The time flies really fast.
Already upon us already. Yeah. They say time flies. Time flies.
It's on no man,
Next time I say any hello to you folks again.
Might be the New Year's.
2026. So, in the next couple of days, folks will be busy doing their shopping.
Yes.
For some reason, we become complacent for various reasons. The hype of the deals that's available and stuff like that. We're not paying attention because there are individuals who will be coming to the various stores and other places where you may be, with not the intention to shop at that particular business establishment. They come in to shop on you. If I can say that, for free. And so it's important that you pay attention and to your money, your hard-earned money that you worked hard for. Those that get a little bonus and you want to spend it. And you make sure that you say, well, I've worked hard for that, I want to treat myself. And you don't want to dampen your whole carnival or your Christmas spirit. I got into carnival, but your whole Christmas spirit get dampened a whole lot already because you lost that hard-earned finance that you were planning to take care of yourself and your family and everything else. So I want us to speak in relation to that. Being aware of pickpockets and stuff like that is important. Was it last year or the year before? I remember the RGF had a video out showing folks how to pay attention to folks just bump into you like because there are people who could do that professionally.
Exactly.
Professionally. They study that. They go to one for them. It's like a job for them. You understand? They went to schools and trained.
Exactly.
How to pick your pockets and stuff. You being unaware of that. Let's speak to individual about in terms of how they should handle themselves, especially in crowded areas.
Definitely.
And individuals who may want to prey on them for that particular reason.
And listen, that I was happy that you mentioned Carnival because this Carnival is one of the safest, if not the safest Carnival in recent years for a very, very long time. So we want to continue that same spirit for the Christmas season. As you rightfully said, there are persons who they prepare themselves for Christmas season. The scammers and the thieves and the persons with nefarious intent, they plan to do it. Now people don't realize that. A lot of people think it's happenstance and it's coincidence, and they just happen to meet that person that day and it happened to them. But sometimes they've been monitoring you for a very, very long time.
I've been watching how Reddit moving. And,
exactly.
He's a little bit carefree in terms of how he's doing things, and I've watched him for the last couple of months, and I think I can simply bump him on the shoulder and pay attention to that, and I take his money.
Exactly. And on that note, it's important to bring up the issue of patterns. You have to be careful in terms of getting into the same pattern every day, because that's something that they love. Persons with nefarious intent, criminal elements, they love to see patterns because they know at 9 o'clock every day, Miss Smith, she likes to shop at Mellow Bakery, so she goes to town by the Indian store and every day to check up, just walk through and window shop. So I know that house is a soft target around that time. So you need to be careful it's always good to change up your routes every now and then.
Yes.
Even when you're walking through town, going home, going away from home and towards home, always good to change up your routes. Always let persons know where you are in terms of, I'm going to the shop, I'm going down by the store. If anything happens, then they know that you're not around.
Yes.
On that note, it's very important to have good neighbors. You know, neighbors is one of the best forms of security in terms of your property, apart from having a dog and these type of things.
And so trustworthy neighbor is also important.
Trustworthy neighbors. Trustworthy neighbors. That's a good correction.
Trustworthy neighbors.
Definitely.
Not all neighbors are neighbor. You know?
That's true. That's true. I was talking to a colleague yesterday. I was saying it's a good time. Christmas is a loving time. You know, time for bonding, and so it's a good time if you and that neighbor have a little.
Yeah, can I reestablish that friendship? For some reason it diminished. For some reason,
exactly.
That.
Exactly. You know, we haven't gotten off a good foot, but it's in our mutual benefit interests for us to look out for each other and to help each other.
Yeah.
Even as it relates to your family and your children, and so having a good neighbor is very, very integral to the safety of your family and children. And,
sometimes we get into those disagreements with neighbors and stuff, but sometimes they work in our favor.
Exactly.
It works in our favor. We may see that sometimes does not be beneficial because you know they're always troubling me or whatever, or saying stuff about me and stuff like that. But sometimes deep down in their heart, they have good intentions for you sometimes.
And sometimes it's simple misunderstandings that can be easily rectified.
And we keep it prolonged for a very long time. You know, I understand. So healing around this time,
easy.
I mean, from the RGPF, that is recommended.
Definitely.
You know, it could be that Christmas gift you could get by remedying that.
Exactly.
Remedying that situation you're having with your neighbor also.
And even when you're going out as an individual, I have this dimension I've been thinking about from since yesterday to today in terms of safety. First, it starts with you, and as it goes out into a bigger dimension. So it's from you, then it extends to your family, then it extends to your community.
Yes.
Just being outside, going outside in the stores and so shopping, in the yard, wherever, in the neighborhood, and then that wider one is in terms of the diaspora and being on the internet and internet safety. So I was thinking along those lines.
I understand totally where you're coming from because it's a broader dimension than just looking out for yourself.
Exactly.
It's a broader dimension, not just you involved, because you could be the one that could save someone from losing all that they have.
True.
Even though you may not be best of friends, as I said, not that goodly neighbor to each other, but you looking out there could make a difference for someone by just looking out for that particular just neighbor across there. But you maybe have not spoken to Mr. John for so long. But you'll be noticing that individual walking around Mr. John's house. Not that you're being nosy. That's some
exactly.
You're being nosy, you know. But maybe if you see Mr. John and an individual having a good conversation after, maybe you say maybe I was wrong in terms of what I was thinking. But sometimes you have to look out for that.
As you speak on the nosiness, there's a positive to the nosiness also. We were jokingly saying yesterday before the CCTV cameras, and so we had our eyes, and that was the best form of surveillance. That's surveillance unmatched. Because you can see something and say something.
Where the individual developed the lens.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But it all boils down to the single most important thing, in my opinion, for your safety being out there is your awareness. Because a lot of people just walking around and they're aimless. They have their headphones in their ears crossing the street. They kind of single-minded, focused on where they're going. But it's always good to be aware of your surroundings. And it's not new. You always speak about it. If you're going to a party, you look out for the exits. You look to see where the bouncer is located. Stay around reliable people if you're in a crowd. If you see something of criminal intention happening close to you, don't approach. You understand? On that note, if for whatever reason someone might be trying to steal from you or these type of things, it isn't worth it to sacrifice your life or
once you see the situation looks in dangerous,
if it's getting there, give up your valuables.
Get as much information as you can.
Exactly.
Seek the necessary from the authorities. That's
exactly. And as I say, it's all boils down to your awareness. If you're aware, then you're able to spot something that isn't normal. And then you can report and respond appropriately.
You spoke about folks walking around with their headphones in their ears, and the world has become to where everyone wants to be in their own zone these days for various reasons.
Individualistic thinking.
I have my headphones, I'm in my own world, I could care less what's happening over there. But it's not always the best It's not
at all.
I see lots of individuals. It's a trend that we have taken up these days. You have your AirPods on or whatever you're wearing, and nothing else seems to matter. Vehicles blowing their horns.
In the old world,
seem to be hearing, and in some countries it's like an offense to do that.
It is,
You understand, to be wearing, and some people, you can actually be close to someone and hear the level that their headphones is at. The level, and you say they're not hearing anything else. They just want to be in their own world, but it's not always the best thing.
And it even boils over into the vehicles where they're playing the loud music, and so sometimes I see the ambulance coming through, and sometimes the music is so low you can't even hear the siren playing. So people need to be aware that we depend on each other. No single man is by himself living. Everybody has a constitutional right to freedom and enjoy the privileges that's afforded to us in this life. So you need to be considerate.
So true. I mean, what happened to the phrase when they say your brother's keeper? Does that exist anymore?
I think it's disappeared a lot in society, but we want to get back there. So we'd advocate as much as we could.
We're being hopeful.
Yes.
There's another conversation that we should pay a lot of attention to, handling your valuables. Speak to us in relation to that.
Yeah.
For individuals who may not be putting on, some of these things we mentioned it, and it's not a first-time conversation.
Yeah.
But people pay a little attention to these things.
Yeah.
Because we know how safe Grenada is and stuff.
True, we take it for granted.
We take it for granted sometimes, but then it's not until something occurs we realize, I should have done this differently.
Exactly. And if there's a possibility for it to happen, most likely it does happen. Yeah. But in terms of valuable, I would say, and I would recommend, depending on how valuable your item is, no one can tell you where to go with your stuff. You bought it, you work hard for your money, you hard on money, and you bought it, and you entitled to enjoy it.
I want to take my 10 gold chain and put it on my neck, right?
But I mean, and being a small community, we are aware, and it all comes back to awareness. You're aware of certain places, groups, certain areas, even on the island. For example, I went away a 10-carat gold chain and just be parading in a dark alley in town somewhere, or throughout certain communities, and it varies. Because sometimes when we think this place is bad, it might not be a bad place. And it can happen in the least likely place that you might be thinking. So that's why it's important for you to always be aware. But if you don't have to walk with that large amount of cash, if you don't have to walk with that expensive watch or that expensive chain, don't do it. If you have to do it, then put necessary things in place in terms of you're with your friends. If you're with your friends, it's less likely that someone would approach you to steal.
Exactly.
It could happen still, but it's less likely. If you have, so it's everything starts with abstinence. so if you want to prevent it altogether,
just don't do it.
Don't walk with it. Leave it locked up wherever the case may be.
Just thinking about it wherever you're at.
Exactly. If you're going to
you can have those things in your home and you leave it over and think and have that lovely gold chain. Not paying attention to what else.
Exactly. If you're going into an area where it's heavily secured, it might be better to display it there.
See, in a closed environment with lots of individuals there. And you would know the quality of individual.
Exactly.
The quality of individual that you're around.
And still need to be aware. Don't take nothing for granted.
I understand. That's so true.
I always tell people to question everything, regardless of how secure or sound it may look. Question it. And it boils over into a lot of the scams you've been seeing lately in terms of where they say, share this and you'll receive $10,000. And I always say, if it looks too good to be true, it looks like someone just giving you $10,000 for sharing a post.
It can't be true.
Something in right.
And you understand? A lot of folks who actually just fall for these things,
very gullible. Easy. I had to write a very strong WhatsApp status the other day, telling my contacts, stop sending me these things, man, y'all.
I received it too. I've received that for a couple of folks sent it to me, and I was wondering.
And sometimes the people that send it.
Why would you not want to do it for yourself? But
exactly.
Me, right?
Exactly. Nobody just giving you a TV like that.
You should follow up on that for yourself. Why would you forward it to me to participate?
Exactly.
And you send it for your own self.
We forgot those Nigerian Prince emails that we used to get before where you
folks who wants to scam you and just rob you of your valuables, they're thinking about new ways of doing this thing.
Exactly.
You understand? It may not always be the same old process.
And I'm happy to say that.
If last year someone bumped you and took your wallet out of your pocket, or just you're doing a crowded area and you feel someone is touching your neck, but you're so enjoying the event, and do you not know that someone is removing your chain or whatever from you? They probably saw how they did it last year,
And
how easy it was. But they come up with
they develop new ways
of doing it.
Of doing it.
You understand?
Yeah.
So in just getting your awareness, your alertness improved, a whole lot is so important.
That's the key, in my opinion.
Take that necessary weight off you when you lose your value.
Exactly, exactly. And for the Christmas season, regardless of the tips that we're giving you in terms of your valuables, large amount of cash, and so, the Commissioner of Police, he's committed to having the area heavily policed in terms of some of those areas where we anticipate that there will be large crowds, and so even if you're coming down with your valuables, and so always try to pinpoint where you see an officer and remember, and it comes back to the same thing we're talking about, awareness.
Yes, awareness.
So
a question I want to ask you is something I always seem to worry about. I'm not sure I'm going to put you on
the spot.
On the spot. I always hear the police speak about the issue of zero tolerance. In terms of lots of things, but then I always see the likelihood where it's still left up to an ease to a point.
Right.
Zero tolerance in terms of individual doing this. The bombs and things they're busting for Christmas. There was a year there was a zero tolerance in folks importing and stuff like. But we still see it continues to happen. Yeah. Why are we not seeing that properly manned or properly taken care of by the police?
I think where that is concerned, we approach it with a strict policy of not wanting to see those types of crimes happening.
But I'm seeing someone
at a point in time.
George selling it with all the police.
However, when it's on the ground, it's sometimes it's left a lot to discussion when you're dealing with some of the individuals, right? Of course, if an officer sees crime happening and he doesn't approach it, they can amount to disciplinary charges for the officer. So maybe to an extent, sometimes it boils down to reporting the incident. Sometimes our department deals with that, community relations department, in terms of investigating officers and so for not properly carrying out the investigation or dealing with an issue or being unprofessional. And I think we're effective in that area. So sometimes it boils down to that. We are not a perfect organization.
I understand, but it worries me sometimes when I hear the statement being made. We having a zero tolerance. And it continues to prolong.
Because zero is zero.
Zero is zero. Zero can be multiplied a couple times. You understand? Zero is zero.
That's true. But I think we've come a long way. The commissioner and the whole organization have boasted recently of having a 79% solvency rate in terms of solving crime, and it's going up. So we're very proud of that, and we can't take the credit. We have to thank our stakeholders, GBN.
The public too is responsible because if you don't have the cooperation,
exactly,
of getting these matters resolved, maybe 0-2. Yeah,
that's true.
If you don't have that public cooperation, So I just wanted to ask.
No, but I'm happy you brought up the zero tolerance because I know a lot of officers are listening, a lot of senior officers are listening, and there'll be a lot of operational. There's a lot of operations happening around the Christmas season, so it reinforces it into your mind of what it actually means
when you say
to say zero
tolerance. I mean zero tolerance. I don't think because you are X, Y, or Z, you should get away with certain things. And
maybe a better terminology would be a strict compliance.
When you say zero tolerance to this, and you see it still continues.
I understand.
You as a citizen trying to abide by the law and do what is right, and you see other individuals doing that thing that should that zero tolerance should be coming there. It worries you a little bit. I just thought I brought that up to get a little clarification.
But we're getting there, and I think things are happening.
We due for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we get into the traffic situation. We talk a little bit about that because it's important that we speak about that when we come back. Stay with us, folks, on Point Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back.
Listen, there's
Megaforce Promotions, in proud collaboration with Ariza Credit Union and GBN, presents Grenada's biggest flea market at Monroe's Plainfield, Saturday 20th and Sunday 21st December, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Shop unbeatable deals on bed and curtain sets, appliances, household items, electrical and plumbing supplies, toys, Christmas decorations, clothing and shoes, perfumes and colognes, wines and drinks, and just about everything else. hotels, plus a kids area, live entertainment, food and drink stalls. Want to be a vendor? Call 440-4646 to book your spot before they're all gone. Admission $5. 2 full days of deals and more deals. Shopping, fun and savings. Monroe's Plainfield Flea Market. Don't miss it.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
Welcome back once again to our listeners and viewers. Of course, we have the Community Relations Department, the Traffic Department with us this morning, and our focus conversation this morning, we're talking, of course, general safety. The Utah season is approaching, not only approaching, I could say it's already upon us, and we're talking general safety this morning. But you know, traffic is also a level of concern is really given to the traffic situation here, and there are the do's and don'ts that the Traffic Department would want to speak about in relation to how individuals should conduct themselves in terms of the traffic situation. So that's where Ms. Smith comes in, and she's going to talk to us in relation to that.
And good morning again to the listeners and viewers of GBN. Well, what I'm about to say is nothing new to you. It's to remind you of what you should be doing, especially during the busy period, and we call it the Yuletide season, the Christmas period. Persons will be out more. There will be more vehicles traversing from one point to the next, and we are urging persons, if you do not have to come into town, please stay out of town. The traffic congestion is really bad as it is already, especially with the Nawasa project on stream. The roadway is limited to one lane, basically, that is in good kind of good condition to traverse on. And so we know that what is expected, especially in the Grand Dance area and the other places that the roadwork is taking, the Nawasa project is taking place. So we are encouraging persons to drive safely, adhere to the speed limits within the town. It's 20 miles per hour for all vehicles. Out of the town, for private motor vehicles, it's 40 miles per hour. For the public service and goods service vehicles, it's 35 miles per hour. So once you adhere to those limits, it's possible that you could avoid an accident because you'll be within a limit that is your braking distance and your stopping distance will be good. The road conditions, we know it is not very good at this time, but we urge you to take your time. I had an experience driving along the Grand Dance route. Someone with an Escudo, they're the old school Escudo, driving on the side with the roadwork, uneven road, and the man speeding on that piece of road.
Yeah. And we're talking the area that is bad.
We're talking the bad area. He was speeding, and the bumps is very uneven. It's so high, it's rocky, and he's bouncing all over the place, dust spilling all over the place.
I don't think
it's not safe. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that vehicle couldn't be used for it to be driving it in such a condition. So we're urging you to remain safe, remain alert, stay focused, avoid distractions, the cell phones, the eating while you're driving, the excessive talking. It is a distraction.
Yeah.
You cannot be focused on the road and speaking to somebody at the same time in the vehicle. So we're encouraging you to do those things. The vehicle that you're using, ensure that it is in good condition. So you check your tires. Yes, you check your tires. You check your oil, your water, if it's that your vehicle is using. The modern vehicles is more upgraded, right? So you just make sure that everything in there is functioning as it should. Yes, your wipers, the lights. Make sure that both at the front and the back, if it's 2 or more, ensure that all of them are working, and you do not change the color or the intensity of the light. You say keep it as the manufacturer would have made it. You're liable to get a ticket if you do any changes to those.
You know, something we have, and we don't speak a whole lot, and sometimes the police don't mention it. Maybe not something they put a lot of attention to. Folks who take their vehicle to unqualified individual for servicing and so forth, and leads to them having problems as they're driving along.
Yes.
And it's because they have taken their vehicle to an unqualified mechanic who may not be familiar with their type. There's a lot of modern vehicles in Grenada.
Yes.
You understand? And sometimes it may seem a basic problem, but there's a lot of technical thing that goes into it these days. Most of this, even as simple as the computerized controls, and it's not all manual. We say the old analog system. There are some old analog on the road, I'm not saying no, but sometimes not all of them needs that particular individual to service it.
True.
Even the quality, you may say it's a simple brake job these days, but sometimes what needs to be done to that brake needs someone who is qualified to have it done. Most brakes now have these ABS systems, all these things, not just a basic, brake fluid just pump and start move. You know,
so it's important to find a certified
so get the certified people to have your vehicles looked at.
Yes,
you don't want to be driving along and you run into problems.
If you bought it from a local company, you bring it back to them
for servicing.
Because they are qualified.
Try to reduce costs,
but sometimes you end up losing a lot more.
That is true. But they are qualified. They are trained to service those vehicles with the new upgrades and so on, the hybrids and whatever.
And they quicker accept liability if anything goes wrong, as opposed to a roadside mechanic. Some of them, I don't know about that. They are good,
There are some that I would use. If I would say I would use, I'm guilty of using some sometimes because of the type of work you want done. But sometimes you get some quality of work that is less, that leads you more concerned than at least.
We have seen it, especially from the traffic, when an accident occurs and you have to do a vehicle inspection. I can remember one time they were doing an inspection, and the brakes that was installed was not the brakes for that vehicle. And the person would have brought it.
You know they were telling you to work, right?
He brought it. So the last time he would have serviced the vehicle and he was present, he would have seen that is what it was. And now that I'm looking at it, that is not what it is. So, and he said he would have brought it to the mechanic a week ago. So they changed the whatever you call it.
The brake system.
He removed it and replaced it with something else that does not belong to the vehicle. So it's very important. If you could be there when you're doing the works to see that they're doing the correct thing.
And ask questions and be aware.
Questions.
It's a little detour from our conversation, but it's
very important, because it affects.
Because we see lots of accidents occurring, and you know what? Around this time of the year, everybody wants to go to different events and so forth, and they want to use the vehicles. So drinking and driving, we mentioned that. Because you may have taken your vehicle to have your brakes checked by someone who's unqualified. You're drinking, driving, and you may not get that sudden stop that you want because of your condition that you are in.
And you shouldn't be drinking and driving in the first place.
driving tired.
But I'm saying, no, supposedly someone who's approaching you is a drunk driver. And because your vehicle is not properly checked also.
So
there are pros and cons in it.
True. Because you don't have to be the person who drank and drive.
But
on the receiving end.
On the receiving end.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's true.
Yeah, driving tired as well is another issue. You're tired, you come out from a party or work, whatever it might have been, but you're tired. It's okay to find a safe place to park the vehicle and rest. Once you feel
not on the road
rested,
obstructing the traffic.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Find a safe place, not obstructing the traffic. You rest. Once you feel rested enough, you continue on your journey. There is nothing wrong with that.
I mean, these are the tips that are valuable. You know, to road users right now.
True.
Both pedestrians also and the motoring public, because it could affect either.
Yes,
You understand? Your vehicle is not properly maintained. There are individuals who are walking along on the road. The incidents could occur because of the poor maintenance of your vehicle.
That is true.
From the quality of your tires, everything. And sometimes we just go buy tires too. I need a tire, not knowing the type of tire may not be what is recommended for my type of vehicle that I'm driving, and we just go buy, and whoever is selling us a tire say, "Hey, a tire, good man." Right. It has happened, you know. And then someone who knows about it will tell you, "Hey, that's not the right tire for your vehicle," you know.
Yes.
You know.
And I just speaking about tire, I think we have a misconception about, and maybe Nash, you can speak on this somewhere as the expert in terms of traffic checks and dealing with persons, because I've noticed that there are a lot of group chats and people just, you know, they send out a lot of information. There's a chat. Police are checking persons down by the post office in Ghana, and I think people genuinely think they're doing others a favor. They're doing the community a favor, but I think it does more harm than good. And maybe Nash can
I want to agree with you with that. Before of course we talk about it, because police are checking. It could save your individual.
Exactly.
Yes.
There could be someone driving who's unlicensed. Their vehicle is uninsured.
Yes.
The quality of their tires, quality of whatever the total state of the vehicle is not roadworthy enough. But we take a chance. You understand?
And people take a lot of chances around Christmas, the Christmas
I mean,
season.
sometimes we're not happy for the ticket. I'll just get the seatbelts one, and I'll just get it. I know I'm wrong, so I will just say thank you, officer. I go pay the ticket. You understand? You know, I mean, I think the Sunday evening you should give me a little break.
A little thing.
Sunday afternoon.
Maybe a little warning sometimes.
On the Sunday afternoons, but I understand. I try not to make a big deal of it. I know I should be wearing my seatbelt. I understand that.
And this is that maturity and understanding what is the reason the police are there for.
You understand?
I'm not just saying.
I just say Sunday, oh God, cheating. But that one officer every Sunday he holds me. So. Every Sunday it happens that I get caught on Sunday.
That's intervention.
But I've stopped making a problem. Every time I see I will stop. You know, you're going to have to get in there again. I'm not even saying, man.
But the first thing, before you even start your engine, the first thing you do is put on your seatbelt.
I do it all. I will not say I don't do it, but sometimes
you're running and it's human. It's,
the road. Sometimes the roads are not that busy and stuff, so you import the seatbelt.
Right, so the law doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
The police station doesn't close.
No, it doesn't.
I catch as a police officer for over 10 years. I have to catch myself sometimes with my seatbelt. And sometimes I'm driving and I'm like, I have to pull it quick. You know?
I mean, in the morning, coming to work and stuff, I never don't drive it out. But sometimes on Sunday, I mean,
is that more relaxed?
Happen anytime.
That's true.
Accidents and stuff. So I'm not saying I'm right about it. But
So
I just think I could get that like a
the Sunday, persons generally think that Sunday is a dead day and to just drive as they wish on the nation's road. So if you can expect any vehicle at any time, at any day of the week. So you still stay on your side of the road.
Yes.
You drive on your side of the road as you would on a Monday to Saturday. I've noticed from time to time on Sundays, persons in the middle of the road during the day, they get off the road
full
and
speed.
The other person had to jam brakes and so Sunday, it doesn't matter what day of the week you are driving, the road rules, you still have to follow them.
That due care attention should be every day. Every time you sit there and
you decide
would never take offense to that. You know? But I just think I shouldn't get a ticket on.
Wow.
We're due for a break. Let's take it. We come back and continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks.
In this relationship,
In Grenada, sports aren't just a game. They're a way of life. They teach discipline, teamwork, and resilience. They inspire the next generation to push boundaries and chase excellence. That's why the Investment Migration Agency of Grenada is proud to support sports initiatives as part of our commitment to youth and national development. When we invest in sports programs, we invest in the future. We invest in the health and well-being of our youth, and we invest in broadening Grenada's reach, proudly connecting our athletes, our talent, and our nation to a global community. Together, we all go further. The Investment Migration Agency, unlocking the possibilities.
This year, make colorful Christmas memories with Berger. Get 30% off select 1 and 5 gallon purchases. Each purchase over $300 gives you a chance to win one of 3 cash prizes every month. October $2,000, November $3,000, December $5,000. Drop your entries in the specially marked boxes in store and enter as many times as you like. Promotion ends December 20th. Berger Paints for lasting beauty and protection.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Of course, we're just wrapping up from the break. We're into the final segment of the program this morning. Is there any particular traffic arrangements coming around for the Christmas season that folks have to look forward to in terms of maybe particular events coming up and so forth? Even, there's a heightened pedestrian use between the tongue of St. George, Grenville, major thing. Is there any difference in the traffic arrangement, or things just remains the same to a point?
It remains the same to a point. If there will be any changes, it will be broadcasted. But as it stands, there is no major changes to the traffic routes. We're just encouraging persons to leaving and getting probably to Grand Dance or other areas and you think you'll have to pass through town to use the alternative routes that are available. So if you're leaving from the western side or to the middle of the island, over the hills as we say, you could use the Marist Hill area, go down Lotus Lane and get on to Grand Dance. You could pass up Cemetery Hill, go down Looker Street or up Looker Street, go down the lane or go through Archibald Avenue or go across to the Carnage to get onto Grand Dance. You don't have to come through the town to get to Grand Dance or any other area beyond the town of St. George. And we're encouraging that to avoid the congestion that may be caused during the busy periods.
All right, great.
And be considerate of other road users, in terms of it's Christmas season. A lot of people might be coming in from the diaspora and they might be driving through traffic. You see John and see him in 5 years and you block up the whole town because you and John had to catch up. Take John number and y'all speak later and meet up later and have a chat in terms of
I think sometimes individuals lose consciousness in my opinion. I think folks may lose a level of consciousness at the moment, not thinking, well, I am causing an obstruction by me stopping and having that conversation. I think that's what is happening.
I think so.
And someone may have an emergency.
It continues to happen all the time. From time to time, folks will just stop to have a conversation. Or you may just want to come to GBN, and GBN is next to where a major road, and you feel you got to stop to come right there. And you want to say, well, let me just go a little further up back and maybe walk back. You probably need that little exercise. You probably need that little exercise. But folks know, because I want to go to this particular place, I will stop in front of it, caring less of other road users to a point, especially the motoring public, and just stop right there. I just hope that folks be a little more considerate. Moving into the Christmas, it's holidays coming up, and into 2026, we have a change in the whole attitude for our road users.
And you can attract a charge of obstruction, and Shinga can correct me there.
Yes.
Is there a charge one could get for obstruction of traffic?
There is
Parking and just obstructing the flow of traffic.
So the parking in a no parking area, you can be ticketed, clamped, or towed away. For causing obstruction, you can be ticketed, or likely to cause obstruction as well. Both of them, you can be ticketed for that.
That's why I said making an example of is important. If if not available, yes, we do see the clamping from time to time. But individuals who decide I'm just going to leave my vehicle there, and knowing that where I'm going to be leaving my vehicle is going to cause an obstruction to vehicle coming in the other opposite direction, because now who's behind me will have to wait for who's coming in the next direction, and you not being there, we know that our roads are not as wide to accommodate 3 and 4 lane traffic. You understand? And you parking there, you know that someone would not want to take that chance, especially if it's close to corners. You know, there are a lot of corners in Grenada, and you will park your vehicle there and causing those obstructions. And I think that's where I know probably resources are limited for the RGPF. You understand? They can't be here and everywhere.
You can't be everywhere, exactly,
at the same time. But I think that ties back to the point that I think that a lot of attention needs to be put into, especially coming around to the Christmas holidays.
That's true.
Areas that a lot, some resources could be diverted to there to minimize it.
That's
I just think the presence of police in certain areas would just have individuals.
It would definitely. When you see that red stripe from the distance, it definitely gives you some sense.
I may not want to do it because there's a police officer there.
So I can assure you that for this season there will be an increase in traffic checks, increase in tongue patrols. So there will be overlapping periods. So for example, a shift would start at 7, another shift would go out at 11. The shift that started at 7 would finish at 1, and another shift would come in at 1. So
at every point in time, there have a group of officers present.
I'll let out a secret. There's once I'm speaking to someone who I know may have committed a lot of offense in their life, and he said if he wants to commit a crime in a tongue of St. Road, you do it at 11 o'clock.
AM?
Because there's no police.
There's no police there?
It will not be so.
I haven't seen a lot of presence.
It will not be so this time around.
Well, I was told that. And I have personally observed it myself.
Oh, yeah?
I'll be honest. Usually maybe there's a change of shift around
make a note here.
No, I'm saying it. Say if you want to commit a crime in Tongue, there's no police in Tongue at 11 o'clock. I know I'm spilling the beans right now. You will be mad at me.
No, I mean, we have to work together.
There are things that you would like to see. And he said, if I want to commit that crime, I wouldn't be in Tongue at 11 o'clock. There's actually no police in Tongue at 11 o'clock. And I have observed it numerous times.
Okay.
Around 11 a.m.
That's interesting.
There's no police officer. Or they're in a particular area that is least police of even incident happening. You understand? Maybe I'm not saying there's not any at all. Where they are, without maybe located, nothing will be occur in that particular area. Something the police should look into.
Definitely. Thank you for that observation.
For that.
I got a little recommendation.
So in this segment, we will of course give the opportunity to our listeners and viewers if anything of concern that you would like to speak about. You may have a concern too. As a listener there, you want to call 435-2041. Don't forget we have double the options of you calling in, both the WhatsApp and the direct line. 435 is a bit of an ease-up conversation this morning, but at least we are getting the information up. That would cause the viewers and listeners, especially those who are driving, maybe not a thought about the things I'm doing, how important it is for me just stopping anywhere. And that has becoming a problem with the vast amount of
it is, serious inconvenience for road users. Without deviating too much, GT, I wanted to speak a little bit on the children.
Yes.
So many times we forget them. In terms of persons who want to go fet and lime and leave the kids at home alone, we strongly advise against it. You can be charged for neglecting and ill-treating your child if it can be proven. So we strongly advise against that. If you have to leave them home, leave them in the care of a responsible adult. And note the word here, responsible, highlighted, bolded, and underlined. Responsible.
I agree.
Even speak to your kids about safety around the Christmas season, because they have a lot of gadgets, a lot of toys, a lot of electrical toys and so on. These things can lead to a fire. We know the fire department some in the past years have been busy around the Christmas season. So we strongly advise against leaving the children home. When they're home alone, they normally idle, so they tend to
want to experiment,
play with stuff. They play with the lights, they plug in, plug out, and sometimes it can be detrimental to the home, and nobody wants to lose a home around the Christmas season. So
and that is great information, because around this time of the year, especially the youngsters, school is on vacation now. know, for some reason, parents may not have anyone they have to leave them with, or due to cost, they may not be maybe to care and after care.
Everybody have a different
have that way of dealing
circumstance.
School always helps out around this time, and they may have to leave them home. No, they're unattended. You may set your rules that you may say, but
don't do this.
When we had to be rebellious, we are
when you gone, everything gone with you.
Whatever you have said, that doesn't matter anymore. You understand?
True.
So find opportunities where you could check in on them from time to time. I for one thing, I set cameras in my so I can look at them and always see what they're doing. And I can actually say, hey, don't do that, I see what you're doing. You understand? Some parents may not want to go to that length, but you have to find ways of easing the tension, especially when you're not home.
Exactly.
Making sure that your children are safe, your home is safe. You understand?
For sure.
Because even for prayers on young children these days,
that is it.
They know you have a young son or young daughter, and they may say, I know, well, GT's not home right now.
And even it boils over into the internet usage. You be aware of who your children are speaking to online, the sites they're visiting,
the parental
those type of things.
Make sure you activate them and so
exactly.
You understand? Then we don't think it's necessary to do these things. We see it's been offered, but sometimes we don't think it's necessary. I would say some folks don't like to go through the walk. The process of getting it done.
Going through the tabs and all of that.
All of that, but sometimes it is necessary to safeguard yourself as a parent, not
locked in.
You understand? And safeguarding your children also.
Exactly. And of course, the businesses, we want to encourage them to put as much safety practices into practice as possible. In terms of locking up your place, try and deposit as much money as you can, have a high frequency of deposits.
You mentioned it earlier on. Don't keep that particular routine all the time.
Exactly.
You understand? Don't say you leave at 9 o'clock every morning.
Have a random
9 o'clock every day to go.
Don't be predictable.
Don't predict, because there are folks will be looking at your pattern, and I just don't keep that same pattern every day.
Exactly. Even in the stores when you walk in, there might be some areas that kind of hidden behind clothes, and try to avoid those things. Try and keep everything in the open to avoid theft and people.
Sometimes not everyone's intention. Sometimes you do have to pay attention to who comes into the store.
Exactly.
Sometimes I feel a little uneasy going to stores myself. Some folks will look like you. It gives me the impression they think I come to steal.
No, true.
But I understand that folks have to mind the business of their business. You understand? I may not come with that intention, but there are others who may be coming with that intention.
Definitely.
It may cause me to feel a little bit uneasy. I went to store to them and the security will.
You ever get followed? You get followed?
I was like, what's going on? You understand?
He don't know you, man.
But sometimes you get that feeling of unease.
True.
I go to that particular aisle and I feel that every time I go to an aisle, an individual is there. It gives me the impression, is he following me? Thinking I'm coming to do something.
To steal.
You understand? So I certainly do understand that, but I understand they've been paid to do a job, and they have to do what they have to do. But you know what you come to do also. And there are folks who may come to pray on that business, but you may not do, but it's understandable. We do have a first caller. Caller live, good morning, welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I just have a concern. It's concerning the Granite Valley. I noticed police are really patrolling there. Mostly only on Granite Road.
So you're saying you want to get an added presence of police within the Grand Dance Valley area? Is that what you're saying, Mom?
Yeah, that is where a lot of traffic always be.
Okay. Well, of course, Corona have taken a note, so I guess you
And on that, I've noticed that I don't know. I saw you guys placed a lot of cones down, and that was very good.
Signs, and for the most part, they are adhering to it. It's mostly in the night time.
Yes.
You would see one or two vehicles there, but during the day, the road is usually very clear in that area.
I have seen some of the cones there.
They have been compliant for the most part.
And as it relates to the patrol, I can't promise that there will be an increase level of patrol, frequency of patrol of officers, including all the different departments, CID, RRU, SSU.
Everybody.
We do have another caller. Caller live, good morning, welcome.
Hello, good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, I think it's a great program and it should be continued, right? However, it's not to bash the police officers. Sometimes the police officers with their personal vehicle, they do not obey the traffic laws and the ordinance and the rules as it pertains to traffic. They will definitely park in a no parking area deliberately. I do not know if they think, listen, I'm a police officer and my colleague will not arrest me or charge me. This is ugly and wrong. Yesterday morning, in the city, on H.A. Blaze Street, a police officer took the bus that not police, the bus that is assigned to the police, and he parked it in a no parking area and making it difficult when you are leaving H.A. Blaze Street to go onto Hughes Street to maneuver the vehicle. And I was pretty upset because I say a law enforcement officer ought to set example. Even though it is a police vehicle, the law does not give you an alibi, an excuse to violate it. So, all that while we the civilian at times behave in a very hostile or unfriendly manner to the police, which is wrong, police officers too need to set examples. Okay, thanks for listening. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you for, of course, the point the officer made.
Yeah. That's a very, very good suggestion. And no one is above the law, even police officers. Even with your private vehicle, I see a lot of traffic officers pulling up officers with a private vehicle. It shouldn't be allowed. So,
it does happen.
More so with the police vehicle, you shouldn't be blocking the traffic.
You should go across the board, and you should go across the board, especially. We do have another caller. Caller alive. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning.
Good morning, and how are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Doing good.
Okay, I also want to say good morning to Commissioner Fanny Cohen. He's doing a great job. And the message just now saying that the police shouldn't park here and this one shouldn't park there. Government vehicles that I learned back in the big world, government vehicles can park anywhere. Like I was speaking to the Consul General of Canada, and he was saying, and I'm saying, when you park there, and he said, this is what happens when you have a government license plate or government business, you can park anywhere because you don't know what they're doing there or what they come for. So I'm sorry if you guys don't know the law. They can park anywhere. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we have that as police officers. I just think that in relation to what the caller was saying, you shouldn't
be causing obstruction.
Don't cause a serious obstruction to other road users, even if you have that privilege.
I understand that. If the commissioner has to stop in a particular area.
Yes. If it's an emergency, then of course.
For your personal business, I don't think that then some concern.
Exactly.
You understand? If it's something on your official capacity, is understandable.
Exactly.
But not just for. I understand. We do have another caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Morning.
Good morning. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, I think it is time for bring back local government in Grenada. And then if we have 3 levels of government, all this problem they're talking about in Grenada will be solved. They need a mayor for the south of the island. They could create a kind of little mega city between the south and Old St. George's capital. Get a mayor to run the place. Government, everything is the MP. Get a mayor to run the place and make laws. This is what we need. We abuse the Constitution the British give us. We're supposed to have mayors in the towns. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, caller.
It's a deviation.
A little deviation, but
I think at the end of the day, it boils down to representation. Yeah. Once you have some level of representation, it's the onus of the people. For all of us to work together to achieve what we want to.
and I understand what he's saying, but in a country format of Grenada,
it's very small,
it may not be possible to have that taken care of or do that.
The Australian resources.
Caller live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I'm somewhat, I wouldn't tell you the level of concern, but I'm somewhat concerned about the way some policemen behave. A few months ago, I was traveling towards the end of the tunnel, and a policeman stopped me. I stopped because he was in uniform, and the first question he asked me, what's my age? So I watched him and I told him, I said, I don't understand what kind of question you asking me there. If you want to know my age, you should have a tendency to ask me for something else. And I want to say, which is my license. Because as far as I'm concerned, once you're intelligent as a policeman, you must know that my age would be seen on the driver's license. Eventually, he continued, and then maybe he catch himself, and he told me, if I have my driver, I say, yes, I have it, and I always have it. So I presented it, and I told him, do you see my age now? Now, maybe he thought I was too young or too old to drive, or perhaps I didn't have license. Now, when he see he cannot perhaps hold me or crucify me, he then told me, come out of the vehicle. I did obey. And then he told me, I have a defective tire. I looked at him because for me, this word defective is a bad word to use to me because it has different meaning. So I asked him, I don't understand him. What do you mean by that? Then he watched the tire. He watched a tire. And he said, come out. Then I did come out. And he told me it had defective. And then I tell him, I don't understand what he's saying. Then he told me it has smooth. I told him, how does he know that it has smooth? Because as far as I'm concerned, maybe these people on your program would be able to tell me that. My eyes and his eyes are two different things. My eyes much brighter than his. So if he could see I have a defective tire, ask him, what does he measure the depth of the bead with? Because I know, and I should know, that you're supposed to have something to measure the depth of the bead. I don't know how you call it. Maybe you tell me perhaps a caliper or something so. So this is my complaint. Some policemen or policewomen, just because they are police, they held up people for little or nothing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for raising your concern there. Yeah. Anybody want to respond to the call?
Well, I don't actually speak as a traffic officer, but let me just say, officer, when he's trying to figure out whether by whom a crime has been committed, he's entitled to question anyone. So the officer can put questions to you. Whether or not those questions are fair, so it can be determined later. The best thing to do sometimes is most times to comply with the officer and to see where it goes. But we do have mechanisms in place if you feel that you have been treated so unfairly. And that is the Community Relations Department. That's the department attached to you. You can always come, and if you think that the officer was unfair in his judgment and he treated you poorly, you can come and give a report at the Community Relations Department, and it will be thoroughly investigated and you'll be given feedback. Whatever actions need to be taken will be taken. I can promise you that. So you have that.
All right. In terms of the term defective, it is in the law. The charge is defective tire. Mm-hmm. And when you say the tire is defective, it either means that it is smooth, showing thread or wires. Mm-hmm. See, once it is showing thread or tires, we know that it's gone through all the phases. It is smooth, meaning that the grooves are no longer visible. You do not need a caliber or whatever it is to measure the depth of it. So once the grooves are no longer visible, that means your tire needs to be replaced, and you can't be given a ticket for that offense, whether if it is one tire or all of the 4 tires. And you should be mindful that you could get a ticket for each tire, but we do only give one, even if it's more than one tire that is bad.
Okay. And it's universally accepted. You can objectively look at the tire and see if it's deteriorated to that extent.
So sometimes, one side, I guess, the
calibration of your tire, of your vehicle.
One side might be good and the other side is bad, and you think it's okay, but
still defective.
It's defective.
It's defective. Okay, great. Hope that clears up the whole misconception there. Yeah. We do have another caller, which will be our final caller for the morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GT, and good morning to your guests. First of all, I want to really commend you, GT. I find you would have done well as a police officer yourself. You have been very able to really, add on to what the police officers had to say. I want to congratulate you. You have been a very good police officer. The next thing I'm asking is that I'm wondering if more of the community policing would assist in regulating the traffic, helping the traffic better. And another thing is that we have to remember that police officers are individuals, and as individuals we do make mistakes. So one should be able to consider it in some matters. I'm not saying all, but we have to remember we are dealing with individuals who are apt to make mistakes. But yes, so I don't find that community policing if it's going to help with these errors, with these defects. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. I don't think I want to be a police officer.
Well, you do a good job at that and assisting. But the caller is absolutely right. I do believe he's correct in terms of community policing. It's one of the mandates of the Commissioner of Police in terms of fighting crime and building that relationship between the police and the community. And it has been effective, and I strongly believe, and I know that he will implement a lot more of community policing in the upcoming year of 2026.
Okay.
So thank you, caller. That was a good suggestion. And you all right? Police officers are human beings too. People tend to forget that.
All right. Yeah. You think you want to say closing?
Right. I just want to encourage persons again to be vigilant on the roads, both pedestrians and motorists. As I said before, pedestrians look out for the motorists, the drivers look out for the pedestrians. Have a safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right. So I think that's a wrap for us for today. Pleasure as always. I wish you all the best for the holiday season. All the best. I know you guys going to have your work cut out for you, so you may not be enjoying Christmas as you would like it to, but I certainly wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey folks, as we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point, join me again tomorrow for another edition. That's what we say goodbye.